Alright guys, today we're going to be comparing the Estes Proto X versus the Blade Pico QX. Now these are the same size nano quadcopters. The only difference is the Pico QX has those blade protection bumpers, but the actual quads themselves are the same size. And we're going to be comparing them. Lots of people are wondering, is the Pico QX worth $20 more than the Proto X here? Pico QX just came out, it's $50 currently, and the Proto X here has been out for over a year, and they're about 30 bucks. So is this new quad worth 20 more when it's really about the same size and comes with about the same equipment? Well, let's go ahead and look at it, and I'm going to do this comparison using money here. So the Pico is $20 more. Let's go ahead and look at some of the features and see if it's worth $20 more. First to start, let's talk about these bumpers. New pilots very often have trouble with throttle management, so they're going to be bouncing up and down a lot. These blade protectors go above the blades, so if you hit the ceiling, you're not going to hit the blades. Also, if you hit the wall, you're not going to hit the blades. If you crash and fall, the blades are pretty protected here. Now what that's going to do is enable your blades not to get hit all the time. With the Proto X here, you can see if you hit a wall, the ceiling, the ground, your blades are pretty much the first thing that are going to hit anything. They're going to get bent up a lot quicker, and you're going to have to replace them more. So that's going to be a little more frustration and a little bit more cost to buy more blades. With my Pico QX here, I actually have a Nano QX, which same company and has these blade protectors as well. With my Nano QX, I've had that for probably about a year, maybe more, and I've never replaced the blades because these protectors do so well. So I'm going to say that that protector is worth $5. It definitely has worked on the Nano QX wonderfully. Like I said, I've never replaced the blades, and it just helps protect the heli without really causing any flight problems or anything like that. So it's definitely worth having on there. So I'm going to say that's worth $5. We're down to a $15 difference. Now let's look at the transmitters. So they look almost the same here, but there are a few differences. Big difference is, again, going to go back to the blades. When these blades on my Proto X get a little bit dinged up, I'll often have trouble with the heli quadcopter here spinning while in flight. Now on the Estes Proto X transmitter, I have no trim for my spin. On the Pico QX, I do have trim for my spin. So if I ever need to trim out the rudder, I can with the Pico, but I cannot with the Proto X. So that extra trim button there is nice. It can help you be able to fly if your blades are a little damaged, and it's just nice to be able to trim all the controls that you have. So I'm going to say that's worth $2. So now we're down to a $13 difference. It's nice to have that, and it can help you replace blades less often if you can have all your trims. Another thing about this transmitter is it has an internal battery. From what I've read, they'll last about 15 flights or more, and you charge it off the same charge cord as you charge your quad off of. So you just plug it in every 10 to 15 flights and get it charged up again, and you never have to buy or put batteries in, you never have to replace batteries, and it's just real nice and simple to have that. On here you have two AAAs, I believe, and you got to replace them as you need. So I'm going to say that's worth another $3 to make for that extra feature. So now we got 5 and 5 total, 5 and 2 and 3, so we got 10. So now there's only a $10 difference in my eyes between the two. What other features? Well, this Pico QX in the Ready to Fly package has dual rates. The Estes Proto X in the Ready to Fly package does not have dual rates. It has a single rate. Now you can upgrade the transmitter and fly it with a different transmitter to get dual rates, but that's adding money, so we're talking about just the Ready to Fly packages here. So you don't get dual rates. You also can do single and double flips with the Ready to Fly package of the Pico QX. You cannot do that with the Ready to Fly package of the Estes Proto X. So we had a $10 difference before those features. I'd say those features, if you wanted to get them on the Proto X, you'd have to spend $10 for a new transmitter. So I'd say they're worth $5 to $10. So now I'd say that these two, with the features you get based on each Ready to Fly package, I'd say these two are almost equal cost when you think about the features versus the price. But now we got to go ahead, get them in the air, and just talk a little bit about their flight and see which one flies better, and see if, again, if the Pico QX wins in flight or if the Proto X does better. So let's get them in the air and see about that section of the comparison here. Alright guys, I have the Proto X and the Pico QX both turned on down there. I'm going to do a flight with each of them. I'm going to start with the Proto X. There's only one mode, no flips or anything, so it'll be a real quick and easy flight. So we'll take it up here. I'm going to bring it by the camera. And this thing has a pretty fast, here's the hands off, going up a little bit. But I got new props on here, and it's actually doing very well right now. The throttle, it's going up and down a bit, but hands off, it's holding in the same area. It has a lot of power actually. It'll go up and down pretty quick, and as you see here, you can fly it around the room nice and easy. Do some of these quick turns. I'm going to do these with both the quadcopters so you can kind of see the difference. It's hard to keep this exactly where I want it, but that's about the rates there. I'm going to, like I said, do these turns with the other quad as well. And we landed on the ground there, but took right back off. It's durable enough that if you get little crashes, it's fine. But again, there's no flips, but it flies around pretty good here. I think it's a little fast for a beginner. With the one mode, this one mode it has, I think is a little bit fast for a beginner if you're just starting to learn. But for someone like me, or other people that have intermediate to advanced flying and have flown things like fixed pitch and collective pitch helicopters, the rate on this is very nice, very controllable, and you can really make it zip around. Let's go ahead and land it. So I mean, it does fly really nice, and for me, that one mode is great. I don't really use those flips. I do wish it had that trim, but it flies great. Let's go ahead and take up the Pico QX, and we're going to start in the low rates. So here we are at the Pico QX. I'm going to bring it a little closer to the camera. Looks like I need a pusher to a trim. And again, this one, it just also flies so great. Let me try to get a hands-off hover here. It looks like I just messed with my trim earlier and I'm getting a little bit of trim problems. So here's a hands-off hover. Looks like I need to push a back trim. So it also hovers very great hands-off, very smooth. And in low rates here, fly it around really nice, but I'm going to do the spin I was talking about. And as you can see, it's slower. And this is about the same stick position, but I have really great control with it. You can see how I'm keeping it in one spot, and on low rates here it's very controllable. A beginner could learn on this a lot easier than the Proto X, and again, if you crash, you've got those protections. So as you can see, it's a little bit easier for me to control. The Proto X I can control, but this one it's kind of, I feel a little more connected to it. So let's go ahead and show you a flip now. This one will do those flips and with the standard ready to fly, press on the left, and there's a nice little single flip. Let's do a double flip. And it did it, but it hit the ground and then caught and turned over. But as you can see, you can do those flips right out of the box, and it's pretty cool. You can be flying around here, and you can just be like, oh, single flip. Oh, it didn't do it that time. It just did it a little late there. Try that again. One of my props is stuck here. Alright, I got a little bit of hair in my prop I had to clean out, so here we go again. We're still in the low rates. I'm going to go ahead and just do one more flip here. Very cool little thing. One more again. Pretty cool stuff. Nice. So now I'm going to do the spin and hit it to high rates as I'm spinning so you can see the difference. So let me get farther away from that TV there. And here we go. Now I'm going to hit it into high rates. And there you saw the difference. Low rates. Let me get away from the TV. And now high rates. And as you can see, so controllable still though. Now we just have a little bit more speed and movement. Now it kind of flies more like the Proto X does in the one mode it has. And, you know, I can make this thing zip around. Almost hit the wall there. And, you know, it just flies really great here. So I mean, overall they both fly great, but the Pico here, I think I feel a little more connected to it. I have that rudder trim if I want it. And out of the box, in the ready to fly packages, you're going to get all those extra modes. And that's just cool. Do that one more time by the camera. Whoa. Alright, we'll go back and land it here. I think I'm getting low on battery. So what can I say about both these? Well, I'd say they're both awesome. But in the ready to fly package, let's say you're going to buy this as a present for someone and you want it to have all the features and you want to have this protection. I'd say for the cost, the extra cost, I'd say the extra cost is justified. They're both great little quads, but if I was going to give a present or something, I'd go ahead with the Pico QX because it's going to last longer and it has those features. Like I said, I've had my Nano QX for over a year and I've never had to replace anything on it and it still works great. I've let friends fly it. I've gone through a couple Proto X's and a couple Hubs and X4s by myself and friends flying them and crashing them. And they just break a little bit easier, I find. So because of that and because of how long the Nanos lasted, I'd say this is a good choice. So I hope you liked that comparison there. Have any questions, leave a comment. See y'all later. Happy flying.